Good day, everyone. I am Ervin Palcullo from Central Philippine University from the Philippines. And today, in behalf of my colleagues and co-authors, I have the honor to present our paper entitled Burning Gray, the Worldwide Influence of a Locally Published Gray Literature. Please allow me to share my screen now to present our PowerPoint. Burning Gray, the Worldwide Influence of a Locally Published Gray Literature. For the background and rationale of the study, rice production is one of the world's most essential activities. The grain is considered as a staple food of more than 50% of world's population, with more than 700 million tons produced annually. Additionally, rice is a primary foodstuff and continues to be a major food staple in Asia, Latin America, and Caribbean, and increasingly in Africa, and global production is expected to grow by 58 metric tons to reach 567 metric tons in the year 2030. In the Philippine context, rice is also considered as a staple food and crop. The country is considered as the eighth largest producer of rice, where it produced 19.44 metric tons in 2020. With a huge amount of rice production comes along the parallel amount of produced byproducts. According to Fong and Jenkins in 2003 and Belonio in 2005, an estimate of 2 million tons of rice husk is produced annually in the Philippines. Rice husk is considered as the most abundant agricultural byproduct in the country, and it holds a great potential to be a biomass energy source that could help address the population's increasing fuel needs, according to Philippine Rice Research Institute, as stated in the paper of Simeon in 2016. Globally, the energy demand is increasing, and according to Lim in 2012, the huge dependence to conventional and fossil fuel poses a significant problem in fossil fuel depletion, climate change, and environmental protection. Moreover, Mofijur et al. In 2019 expressed in their study that fossil fuel cannot support the global demand in the future due to their limited reserves. In the Philippines, the most common conventional source of fuel, especially on Filipino households, is the LPG or the liquefied petroleum gas. With a high demand in energy usage, plus the volatile oil price and growing emphasis on environmental conservation, alternative energy sources were being developed. To support this action, the Department of Agriculture in the Philippines and the International Rice Research Institute developed the rice husk gas stove technology in 1986. The utilization of rice husks as biomass energy source through this technology also offers environmental sustainability by reducing the rice husk disposal problem aside from its financial viability. Hence, to contribute to the development of the technology, Central Philippine University in Iloilo City, Philippines, through its faculty member, Engineer Alexis T. Belonio, developed a rice husk gas stove in 2003. Furthermore, to fully disseminate the technology, the university published in 2005 the Rice Husk Gas Stove Handbook, a gray literature that is being used as one of the prime references in sustainable energy sources research. So what is gray literature? According to Tillet and Newhold, gray literature or GL are information produced in print and electronic formats not controlled by commercial publishing, where publishing is not the primary activity of the producing body. Additionally, Schufel and Faris also said that GL refers to the material that usually is available through specialized channels and may not enter normal channels or systems of publication, distribution, bibliographic control, or acquisition by booksellers or subscription agents. GLs are usually produced by associations, churches, educational establishments, institutions, laboratories, libraries, museums, private publishers, research establishments, societies, and etc. According to Schufel and Faris, common examples of gray literatures are theses, unpublished documents, conferences, multimedia, special documents, learning objects, data sets, reports, software, and working papers. For the objective of the study, generally, the study aims to determine the impact of the technology developed by engineer Alexis Belonio through the gray literature work entitled Rice Husk Gastove Handbook. Specifically, it aims to identify the nationality of the authors who cited the gray literature. Moreover, it aims to determine the publisher of the works citing the material, identify the publication type of the works citing the gray literature, and determine the number of times of citations of the citing works. Also, it aims to identify the disciplines where the gray literature was used and being diffused. For the methodology of the study, in the data identification and collection, the works citing the gray literature Rice Has Gastov Handbook by engineer Alexis Belonio were identified and extracted from Google Scholar using the Harzing's publish or perish software. The search string used to retrieve the data was the complete title of the gray literature, which is the Rice Has Gastov Handbook. So what we did was that we used the complete title as the search string, and after running the Harzing publish and perish or perish software rather, it identified and extracted 194 literatures. To be sure that these literatures indeed cited the work of engineer Belonio, we manually checked and confirmed through its in-text citations and reference lists if the work was indeed used. After that process, we have finalized the number into 155 literatures. For the data processing and analysis, citation analysis was used to determine the influence of the GM. The analysis covers the following: nationalities and the collaborative activities of the authors who cited the gray literature, their publisher, and the publication time. Also, to further see the influence, the analysis will also include the number of citations generated by the citing article and the discipline where the gray literature is prominently being used and being diffused. For the results and the discussion, in the process of doing this study, we have analyzed 155 citing literatures, which comprised of 398 authors from 31 countries. In this table, it shows the number of authors per continent, where Asia leads with 274 authors, or 68.84%, followed by Africa with 69 authors, or 17.34%, and Europe with 8.79%, or 35 authors. We can assume that since Asia dominates the rice production and consumption around the globe, according to the Rice Almanac in 2013, and where more than 90% of rice produced and consumed happens in Asia, according to the CGIAR in 2019, there are many researchers and that notices the potential of the byproduct of rice production. Next, this table shows the number of countries per continent where the nationality of the citing authors belong. Asia included 10 countries, followed by Africa and Europe, who both got 8 countries each. North and South America both included 2 countries, and Australia has only 1. This is the visualization of the global reach of engineer Belonio's gray literature. So originating from the Philippines, the gray literature was cited in 31 countries within 6 continents. The size of the circle also represents the number of authors who cited the work in the country. To continue, this graph indicates the number of citations per year. Since its publication in 2005, the gray literature was cited 155 times. The work was cited on its highest on 2017 with 20 citations. On average, the work was cited 11 times a year in the course of 17 years. We can see that the peak was within 2015 to 2017. And in those years, Indonesia was the country with the highest number of citations. To give you a context why might this happen, according to the article written by Faiza and Hosseini in 2018 about the development of consumption and supplying energy in Indonesia's economy, the energy consumption from 2007 to 2017 fluctuated. Specifically, the energy consumption in household increased during the said years. The energy use consumed by households included biomass, gas, kerosene, LPG, and electricity. The types of biomass energy consumed by households included firewood, charcoal, and other used for cooking. Increased consumption in this sector is due to the increase in the number of family members and number of households in Indonesia. So we can assume that this might be a factor why researchers have ventured in researching the potential of rice husk as alternative biomass energy source. This figure shows the nationality of first authors. Almost half, or 49.03% of all the first authors are Indonesian. Indian authors followed with 17 authors, and Nigerian with 11 authors, or 7.10%. Filipino authors count only 5 authors, same with Malaysia and the United States. To continue, this figure reflects the nationality of co-authors. 40.33% of the co-authors are Indonesian, followed by Indian with 15.64%, or 38 authors, and Nigerian with 9.88%, or 24 authors. This graph shows us the affiliation of the first authors, where 9 in every 10 authors, or 90%, is affiliated with academic institutions. So Table 5 shows the top 10 institutions in terms of frequency. We have listed 110 institutions, and this table only reflects the top 10. All institutions listed in the table are academic institutions, 5 of which came from Indonesia, 2 from India, and 1 from Vietnam, Ethiopia, and Canada, respectively. Universitas Muhammadiyah Surakarta, Indonesia, ranks first with 11.4%, followed by Universitas Sriwijaya, Indonesia, with 3%. In terms of collaborative works of the researcher outside the country, 91% of the researchers did their work without collaboration from other countries of nationality. Only 1 in every 10 researchers have a foreign collaboration in their works. For the type of publication of the citing literatures, most of the literatures that we have extracted were journal articles with 54.19%, or 84 citing literatures. We also have theses and dissertations with 27.10%, followed by conference proceeding with 13.55%. We also identified research documents, which included research articles, projects, and reports. Additionally, we also identified monographs, technical documents, and bulletins. For the type of access, most of the literatures are open access, which corresponds to 64% of the citing literatures, most of which are journal articles. Table 7 shows us the journals with most number of citing literatures. We have listed 125 journals, and the table shows us the top 10 journals with most number of frequency. Universitas Muhammadiyah Surakarta leads with 10.97%, followed by Renewables and Sustainable Energy Reviews with 2.58%, and Universitas Jember with 10.94. 7 of the top 10 is open access, which are indicated in the color yellow. So next, for the number of publishers, we have listed 106 publishers. Universitas Muhammadiyah Surakarta is the highest with 9.6%, as shown in the table. Springer follows with 5.8%, and Elsevier falls third with 3.8%. Colored in blue are commercial publishers. This includes Springer, Elsevier, and Taylor and Francis. So this is the representation of the number of citations of the citing articles. So Belonio's gray literature is represented by the orange circle in the middle, was cited by 155 literatures. This is indicated by the middle layer of the figures circling the orange bar. 75 of the 155 literatures were cited 797 times. This is represented by the outer bars circling the middle layer. In analyzing the literatures, we also looked into the word used by the authors. More than 600 words were identified using the titles of the literatures. Max QDA was used in generating this word cloud data visualization and word frequency table. The most used word was biomass and gasifikasi, Indonesian for gasification, where they have tied with a frequency of 33 or 4.89%. This was followed by the word gasifier with 4.44% and the word rice with 3.70%, or it was used 25 times. We did not translate the words into English and retain its original language in the process of extracting the word frequency to show the diversity of the words. Lastly, these are the disciplines where the gray literature was used. The GL was primarily used in mechanical engineering with 40.65%. This is followed by agricultural engineering with 39.35% and industrial engineering with 11.61%. We also indicated the disciplines of agriculture, chemical engineering, and electrical engineering. We can assume that the reason why mechanical engineering ranked first is that authors or researchers are using Belonio's work to create their own modified or specific version of the invention. We can also presume that they refer to their GL for more information regarding the uses of rice husk as biomass energy. For the conclusion and recommendation of the study, so this study exhibited that the role of gray literature as a source of information stays essential, especially for researchers. The top users of the gray literature came from the countries which are also considered leading countries in rice production and consumption. The gray literature was used in different disciplines, mainly in mechanical engineering and agricultural engineering, and most of the literatures that used the gray literature was available as open access. The study shows that even locally published gray literature could be of value to the international community. Thus, publishers must ensure that the distribution of these resources must not be limited to the local community only. Furthermore, institutional repositories play important roles in the dissemination and preservation of these publications. Thus, whenever possible, the establishment of such is recommended. For the recommendation, based on the results of the study, we recommend that universities and institutions are encouraged to make more available gray literature with high quality research information. This can be attained by the availability of gray literature through the institutional repositories. Furthermore, libraries and information centers should have an available collection of gray literature, whether electronic or traditional, that are specific to the community they are serving. And lastly, a future study on a co-citation analysis is recommended to see the citation relationship of the citing literatures. So these are the references that we used. That's all for my presentation. Thank you very much. So if you have any questions, I would be delighted to answer it for you.